Companies utilizing ERP application often find themselves in situation where their business process necessitates the integration of a software application or hardware with the ERP system they are using. Unfortunately, these integrations result in big-time fiasco and failure, leading to losses in terms of business downtime, manpower, and financial resources. Hi, my name is Raman and I am from ERP Doctor, a company which specializes in solving any kind of challenges with regards to ERP applications. In my experience of working with more than 500 plus companies across multiple industries and multiple geographies, I have encountered numerous instances where companies have lost several damages and have lost huge amount of money because of poor decisions in ERP integrations. Now, let's get this very straight. Integrating any software or third-party applications or any hardware or machine with an ERP is not a simple task at all. A global survey reveals that 7 out of 10 ERP integration cases are a failure. So, an integration with ERP should always be done with a lot of consideration. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 compelling reasons or indicators which qualifies an integration of a third-party application or a software or a hardware with an ERP system. The first compelling reason or indicator is huge or heavy data transfer. Now, if there is a significant exchange of data happening between any software solution or hardware and the ERP, then this becomes a compelling reason for integration. In this case, the integration ensures that there's a seamless transfer of data from one application to other application, as well as accurate flow of data. Now, what do we mean by huge or heavy data transfer? A simple yardstick would be transferring data manually from one system to ERP should be an impossible case. Then we call it as a heavy or a huge data transfer. Please note that if there are 10, 20 or 100 transactions that needs to be taken from one system and keyed into the ERP system, then it doesn't qualify. You can very well do it with an manual intervention. So you should see a proper case of ruling out a manual data entry itself for considering this criteria. Some of the classic examples for this compelling reason or indicator would be CRM application integration, e-commerce integration, service ticketing integration, or customer complaint integration. So all these integrations that I spoke right now are basically software applications or third-party applications which are integrated with an ERP to ensure that there is a seamless and accurate flow of data from one application to the other application. So huge data transfer is one of the compelling reasons which qualifies any kind of third-party application integration with ERP. The second compelling reason or indicator would be avoiding manual intervention. If the business requirement is to avoid a manual interventions, which might be for reasons like tampering the data or to avoid mistakes happening in data or for ensuring the authenticity of the data, then the integration becomes a crucial requirement from the data correctness and the authenticity angle. Some of the examples for this compelling reason would be a HR system integration. So you might require the earnings and deductions of the employees to flow from the HR system or the payroll system to the ERP system. Then these data needs to be very authentic and correct. It cannot be done by a manual intervention. Some other examples would be like machine integration, like a weighing scale integration with ERP, where the weight of the product should not be tampered and it should be captured straight without any manual intervention in an ERP system. Or any other machine integration which requires the reading of the machine to directly come into an ERP solution without any tampering. Now, avoiding manual intervention is also a very key compelling criteria or reason for which integration of any third-party application with ERP system is done. The third compelling reason or indicator is real-time information. When the business requirement is to have a real-time information in the ERP system to make a decision or to execute further process which comes in the ERP system, then it becomes a mandatory requirement for integrating any third-party application or hardware with an ERP system. This integration ensures that the data is up-to-date, accurate and real-time in both the systems at any given point of time. Some of the well-known examples for this kind of integration would be integrating your ERP system with an exchange rate website, a website which gives exchange rate across multiple currencies in real time. So if your ERP system is basically doing a lot of conversion between one currency to other currency and they are in need of exchange rate, then this exchange rate has to be fed in real time to the ERP system. So this becomes a classic example of real-time information. One other example will be integrating with metal exchanges. Metal exchanges are authorities globally which gives you the prices of metal at any given point of time. So some of the business would require these prices to be fed into their ERP to calculate the purchase or the selling price of their raw material or the finished goods. So these are some of the scenarios or examples where real-time information becomes really of paramount importance to ensure integration to an ERP system. The fourth compelling reason or indicator is business scalability. Now, whatever I spoke in point number 1, 2 and 3 might be a very possible scenario when a company is really small. But when the company really grows or when the company really scales, these three scenarios, which could be manually done or which could be done without integration, becomes very difficult. In most of the business cases, when the business grows or when the business scales and expands, information flow which was done manually from one system to other system or transactions which were executed between two systems manually is not possible, and hence an integration becomes mandatory. If integrations are not done between a third-party application and ERP system when the business scales, then there might be a huge complication being created because of manual intervention or manual transfer of data. So business scalability is one compelling and crucial reason and indicator of why integration becomes mandatory. The fifth and the last compelling reason or indicator is regulatory compliances. If compliance with specific regulations or industry standards requires synchronized data across the systems, then integration becomes a crucial requirement to ensure that the legality and the compliance is taken care of. One of a very straight example would be tax compliance, like e-invoicing. E-invoicing requires that the invoice that you do in your ERP system is reflected in the e-invoice portal, and the acknowledgement and the authorization details flows back from the portal back into the ERP system. So this is an integration that is specifically done for compliance purposes. There are many examples for integration based on compliance and regulatory requirements like duty subsidy, exemptions, government exemptions and more, which requires similar type of integrations. Now, the 5 compelling reasons or indicators that I gave you in this video are very straightforward indicators or reasons. There might definitely be a genuine case for integration, but these 5 are straight. If there are anything else, please note that you would require to do a detailed study and due diligence to see if integration is really necessary. Now, businesses having a very light-headed attitude for ERP integration is a no-no. Oh, it's just integration, let's have it done. This is not going to work because ERP integration calls for a lot of considerations. Otherwise, the integration, however simple it might look like, will fail. So businesses deciding to integrate a third-party application or software or any machine or hardware with ERP, please give due consideration and due diligence in finalizing your decision. If you are a business belonging to any kind of industry vertical and you have a strong requirement for integrating any third-party application or hardware with ERP, or you're confused whether to do an ERP integration or not, we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you and have a one-on-one conversation on giving you suggestions and best practices of integrating any systems or software with an ERP application. Our contact details are available in the description. Please feel free to get in touch with us if you want any clarification with regards to integrations in ERP systems. Thank you. We look forward in meeting you on one more interesting topic on ERP.